Jumping right in. Hello, my name is Isaac Maier. I'm a customer success manager with Everflow, and I've been in affiliate marketing for 6 years now. If you ever want to find me at an event, you're most likely to find me one in the Bay Area, as I'm based in San Francisco, California. Hope to see anyone at Customer Success Fest. That'd be fun. So let's talk about presenting your in-house success and how to do it with Everflow. And like I said, there's going to be 3 major topics that we're going to talk about today. The first of which is setting up your holistic tracking. So like I said, holistic tracking essentially means that you are able to see all of your different marketing efforts through, it might be one report, but essentially through one platform, and that's Everflow. One of the best things about Everflow is that we offer you the ability to go in depth with your tracking and track multiple channels, all once again within Everflow, easily and without delay. So essentially how you set this up is that you'll set up your marketing efforts as a partner. Now, in many cases, you might have a partner as maybe it's like an affiliate network. But if, let's say, you have internal marketing efforts, such as a newsletter or a YouTube channel, you can set those as a partner as well. We're also going to show you how to set up Google Ads integration as a partner. On other platforms, this might be a lengthy approval process. It might be difficult to set up these channel tracking, but on Everflow, luckily, we've made it super easy. So real quick, I'm just going to jump in and show you how to set up a partner and then also how to add a label so that you can easily take this partner and filter them in your reporting at a later time. So we're at our Everflow dashboard. We're going to go to partners. We're going to add a partner. In this case, as an example, we're going to be talking about webinar. So this is our webinar partner. So I'll just call it webinar. Essentially, this is the partner that we're going to use to track all of our webinar efforts. This way we can see how our webinars are generating leads and ultimately building revenue for our company. So we can just name it webinar. In this case, label, we're going to add channel. So like I said, if you're promoting your own product, then you can use a partner as your channel. So if we label this channel, then later when we're talking about the reporting, I'll show you, we can split up our reporting so we can see only the internal channels that we're using. And then we can see, external things such as affiliates or Google Ads separately. So that's why we added that label right there. These other tabs are relatively standard for this process. In the same way that you'd create a partner normally. We're not going to go through too much of that today, but essentially once you get to the end here, and if you can just click add. But it's really the label that's the important thing today, although there are some other awesome, powerful tools there as well. But that's what we want to focus on today. So we've set up that partner with that label. Now we have a partner that is specifically for our webinar, so we can track our webinar's performance. Let's talk about setting up paid ads. So we actually have a wonderful little Google Ads demo here, and I'm going to take you through this. Let me just bring this back to the beginning if I can. Okay, we're going to click through this real quick just to get to the end. Okay. And this will all come later. Okay, so let's jump into Google Ads. Talking a little bit about Google Ads and why you might want to run those external ads, how it works in Everflow. So essentially, you're setting up accurate attribution for conversions and engagement events. This way, you can pass all of your event data into Google Ads using values that reflect the quality of your leads. You can use this integration to track keywords, placements, and partners inside of Everflow. So while optimization in Google Ads should be at the conversion offer level, their reporting doesn't make it super easy to make those correct decisions. However, by integrating with Everflow, we make this reporting nice and easy. A cool stat that we have here that Michael's showing us. Using our integration, we saw in Q4 of 2022, a 91 increase in quality leads with only a 9% increase in budget. Hopefully we can help you find those same results. So we're going to show you briefly how to get this configured. and then how it works. So, like I said, we want to set up a partner specifically for this purpose. In this case, it's Google SEM. Once again, that way we have a partner specifically for this Google Ads integration. We can track it separately. You can see here in Google Ads, we have some of these different qualified leads. And like I said, one of the best advantages about this integration is the ability to pass in all of your conversions and events into Google Ads. That way you can better track their performance. You can see a few examples of events, and I'll talk about how to set up events in just a moment. But here's some examples of why events might be useful. So events are, I guess, mostly useful for tracking a campaign beyond the first sale slash lead or conversion. So in this case, we had tested keywords that drove a ton of leads for demo requests, but the leads were from 100% junk emails that never showed up for our demos. So this way, by integrating with Google Ads, you can actually see how much those leads are worth. You can also use our HubSpot and Salesforce integrations to attribute all of your pipeline stages as events inside of Everflow. So we use these integrations to evaluate which keywords drive high quality leads and become customers. Once again, this is allowing you to in-depth view the quality of your leads. There's a few different other steps, but essentially what I wanted to show here is that you can use events, and they're super powerful to track essentially every step of the lead process, all the way from when that intake form is created, for when someone's just a prospect and you get them as a prospect, to them closing, all the way through perhaps them subscribing for multiple years, renewing their contract. All that's possible with Everflow and our Google Ads integration. So walking through how to set up some events and the configuration. So we just give it a name, very simple. We set an account manager. We can set up the templates here. We're going to set a sub value for the Google Click ID. So this is how that data is actually passed into Everflow. So this is the data, the parameter where Everflow receives your data. Something else interesting, which we'll be talking in a bit, which is super useful for seeing how your ad campaigns perform, is the keyword macro parameter. This way you can track the performance of various keywords against each other. In this case, we're doing it in sub 4, and we'll view that in dimensional analytics in a little bit. Once again, we do want to have a partner set there. So in this case, whenever we want to view the performance of our Google Ads, we can just look at partner 6. Okay. And we're going to go a little bit more into depth in a bit on this. But first, we're going to talk about something else. So I'd also like to talk about email attribution. So now we've been through setting up. So we have partners for our channels, such as our webinar, newsletter, YouTube channel. We have partners for our actual more traditional partners. Maybe those are affiliate networks, affiliates. And then we have our partners set up for our Google Ads. So this way we have all that tracking completely set up. We can view all of those different channels all in our Everflow dashboard and our Everflow reporting. One final thing I wanted to talk about setting up is email attribution. This is super powerful because it makes a single source of truth for how a lead progresses to a customer. And you can have a lot of data to track the user at essentially every part of the process. So I want to show you how to set up email attribution. So once again, we can always track that same lead and attribute their performance to the correct channels and the correct partner. So in this case, we're going to go into our Lego Insiders offer. This is just an example offer. And we're going to go to attribution. We're going to click edit. And we're going to enable email ownership. So there's a few different settings here. So first partner attribution, if that's selected, the partner that delivered the first conversion with this associated email will always receive credit for future events. If we select last partner attribution, Ownership changes to the last partner that delivered a conversion with the associated email address, and then they will start receiving credit for future events using that email. The max attribution window allows you to determine if you'll stop attributing conversions with the associated email after a specific time frame. And then you can click Save to have that added. So please do note that for the initial conversion, you'll need to ensure that your tracking code or postback is collecting the consumer's email address. Of course, you need that email address in order to track their email address, should go without saying. But this can be passed in a postback URL or a conversion event pixel or a Everflow JavaScript SDK script. So once again, this must be collected in order to make the association on future conversions. So a few different methods to do that, but it's just important to remember. So once that email is collected, then Everflow will make the association between that email address and the partner who generated it. Like I said, all future conversions containing that email address will be applied to the originating partner and email attribution event selected upon offer creation. And please also do note that subsequent conversions must contain the email address and either the offer ID or advertiser ID. And that is the main way that you set up email attribution. Getting into a use case, for instance, like I talked about, a subscription model. This way you can easily pay your partner for a recurring subscription or rebilling event. Like I said, we're setting up those events in depth to track the performance of these leads. We want to use email attribution once again to track that, but also to pay out those relevant partners. Okay, so that was a lot, but at this point we have set up our holistic tracking. We have tracking for all of our partners. We have some powerful events, and we have our email attribution. So we're tracking our leads all the way through the process from being created to closed, and then even beyond when they're perhaps renewing their contract or even referring other potential users. Let's talk about how to actually view this success now that we have everything set up. So we're going to go into our Everflow dashboard. And first, we're going to look at reporting. And like I've shown in previous webinars, we have a ton of very powerful reporting. Today, we're just going to look at offers. In this case, we're going to want to use our filters. So remember when we added that label earlier, now we actually get to take advantage of it. So if we go into our filters, we can select our label. In this case, we can select channel. I don't think I actually added it, but we can select channel. Let's use, how about coupon, for instance, as a placeholder. How about exclude a label? So we can, for instance, like exclude blog. So in this case, we're able to use those labels that we created earlier to either add a filter so that we only see offers that are that have that label, or partners that have that label, or we can actually add an exclusion so that we can exclude offers or partners with that label. In this case, this is super helpful. Let's say if we only want to see the clicks or conversions from our internal channels, like I said, such as our webinars, our YouTube channel, our newsletter, we can see that separately from for instance, the Google Ads performance. This way you're able to, like I said, just separate what you're looking at. And then at any time you're able to save that report and come back to it later. So we might just call this, like for instance, webinar. So essentially we can use this data now that we're in here to see how much a lead is worth and to see what, essentially what is a quality lead by going through all of the different events for an offer. We can go through and we can see exactly how much it's worth. Let's say a lead isn't referring any of those additional events, then it might not be worth something. If the conversion action, for instance, is filling out an intake form, for instance, with their name and email, that might not actually be worth anything. But by using those events, we can actually see which of those leads are valuable. So in this case, we're going to check out a dimensional report. So we're back at that Google Ads player that we were looking at earlier. So if we go to our dimensional reporting, and I can just show you how to do this internally as well, you just go Analytics, Dimensional. We can use that Google Ads keyword data that we'd set up earlier, that integration with our keywords, to now view a bunch of different data for Google within this dimensional report. So we can also see, for instance, how certain countries are performing, devices, placements, certain websites. We're going to check out right here the keywords. So since we set up keywords to pass in sub 4, now we can see how our various keywords are performing. So you can see here, top corgis is doing well. We have 6 conversions to events. One really important thing for tracking your success is to look at the conversion to event ratio. This is a really great way to see if your leads are actually performing. So for instance, if we have 6 conversions to 18 events, that means that those conversions are producing a lot of events, which is a good thing. Yeah, like I said, looking at the conversion events ratio, we can also see if something perhaps sketchy is going on. Let's say we have 0 conversions and 100 events, or maybe 1,000 events and 2 conversions. It also shows that something's going wrong. So this is good for seeing performance, but also for seeing if something's a little unorthodox, maybe needs to be looked into further. So now we've had a chance to actually look at how our success is reported. Let's talk about actually reporting that success to others. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about Zapier real quick. I don't have a screenshot to show today, but I did want to note that via the Zapier integration, you can export all this data to Zapier to further analyze the performance of your links. So yes, you can view everything in Everflow, but also, like I said, with that Google Ads integration and with Zapier, you can view this data in external platforms as well. So we give you the power to do that. Now, actually talking about reporting success, we're going to talk about scheduled reports in a little bit, but I just want to go through some basic best practices, some good strategies for reporting the success. So for instance, if you're an agency, you might want to report key events that are most correlated with the success of your company. You might want to show top performing partners. People always like to see who the best partners are, and this way you can also further incentivize them if you need to. You also might want to show the number of approved leads. This is important because the difference between a regular lead and approved lead is obviously very large. You want to show that these leads are actually being approved and providing that value. So those are some of the main things that you can provide as an agency that we've seen agencies provide. But ultimately, you want to be able to reliably tell a story of value. And you can do this by going into your reporting. And luckily, like I've said, we've made it easy. We can always go into our reporting and see which offers, which partners. We'll go to the partner report today. Oops. Which offers and which partners are performing. And let's say you've had an off week where perhaps maybe your general efforts, clicks are down, revenue's down, but you might notice like, hey, in this case, digital partner Lab Media is performing much better than it had previously. By digging into the reporting, and like I said, you can always change the time interval. You can always find something that is changing or evolving, not only to grow your efforts and maybe add attention to places that need attention, give credit to people that need credit, but also, like I said, in those off weeks to see what's changing and reliably tell that story of value creation. So let's go back to the presentation. I'd also love to show you scheduled reports as the final for today. So whenever you've created these reports, and say you've added the columns that you want, the ones that are showing you the best performance, these are the metrics that you use to show what's successful. You can always go and schedule a report. Like I showed you earlier, you can save and load reports. But if you do want to schedule reports to be sent to your team, you can easily just click schedule like I did there. We'll just call this the webinar reports. You can select the time interval. Sorry, one moment. You can select the time interval for that report. For instance, last 7 days. Select the format, currency, time zone, so on and so forth. You can set how frequently this report goes out, when it goes out, and on the day of the month. And you can always include additional recipients as well. This is great for, and like I said, there's the additional emails. This is great for showing your performance on an automated level. This way you don't have to, maybe every week, every month, go in and actually pull this data. You can have your partners, these other companies, perhaps even your boss, receive this data regularly without additional effort from you, which makes it nice and easy. Like I've showed earlier, you can add the metrics that you want here, custom metrics, and filters, which are important, which we talked about today, such as those labels. So we have been through a lot today in terms of creating that holistic tracking, viewing that reporting, and actually reporting that success. Let's talk a little bit about Everflow Pay, which is another great way to boost your efforts to and find more success and create less effort, or have less effort for finding those results that you desire. Everflow Pay is the only payment service that allows you to automate generating your it allows you to automate generating your invoices and payments. It is the only payment method that is automated at your partner signup. It is also the only payment method that shows a warning bar on your partner's dashboard to enter their payment info if they haven't already. Ultimately, this allows you to save time in setting up the partner billing method and chasing down partners to input their information. And this creates a seamless partner payments onboarding experience. A ton of our clients have had great success with Everflow Pay. We'd love to help you do the same. If you're interested, you can reach out to your customer success manager in the chat on your Everflow dashboard, or you can contact support at pay.help@everflow.io. So I've very much enjoyed my time with you today. I hope you've gotten a lot of value out of this webinar. If you'd like to see one of our future webinars, we have a couple coming up. You can join us for the trifecta of media buying, Google, TikTok, and Meta. That's August 21st at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also join us the next week for tracking and conversion domain management. That's going to be August 28th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you very much for joining me today. This has been fantastic. We went through a lot today. So this video is going to be posted on YouTube for any of our YouTube viewers. Hello, like, favorite, and subscribe. But until the next one, I'm here for questions if you have answers.